world, and welcome to the Black Financial Channel. That's theblackfinancialchannel.com. This is where we discuss financial news on a daily basis from a black perspective. And I want to welcome everybody to the channel. This is a black-owned financial channel. We do financial news every day, so I want you guys to make sure you subscribe at theblackfinancialchannel.com so that you can keep up with what's going on in the world of finance. The best way to understand money is to pay attention to money. If you're not paying attention, then guess what? You're going to be paying a price. Anyway, hit the thumbs up button as you come in. Welcome to everybody on Instagram as well. You know, the Black Financial Channel is also on Instagram, so look up the Black Financial Channel on Instagram. You can find us there too. I want to talk about Diddy. Diddy is a person that is in the news right now. Diddy is a guy who just said some things that I think are worth noting. I think that Diddy, in fact, Diddy is, he's kind of my hero right now. I'm not going to lie. He's not always my hero, but he's my hero right now. In fact, I'm going to actually give Diddy a round of applause because Diddy just, you know, Diddy did it. Diddy did it. Now, why do we clap for Diddy? Now, why am I clapping for this brother? Why do I think Diddy deserves mad respect today? Well, Diddy just came out and made a really powerful statement about the lawsuit with Comcast and Byron Allen. Now, I want to ask you guys real quick, just so I don't assume everybody's up to speed. Give me a yes or no in the chat if you are following what's happening with Byron Allen. Give me a yes or no in the chat if you know what's going on with Byron Allen. I see D-Rock and Trevor and Ingrid Taylor. How are you? Good, Ingrid Taylor. Ronald, good to see you. Great channel full of great information. Yes, the Black Financial Channel, that's what it's designed for, because this is what we need to know. If we understand our economics, then a lot of our problems go away. Okay, give me a yes or no if you have been following the Byron Allen lawsuit against Comcast. I want to get a sense of that. Okay, I see a lot of yeses in the chat. Okay, good. I see a ton of yeses. Excellent. Precious and Zorita and Nakia Clark. Good to see you, sister. In fact, Nakia, I'm gonna make you a moderator just in case the trolls find this channel. You are a moderator, so Nakia, please do us proud, sister, because I know you always do. All right, so here's the deal. All right, so hit the thumbs up button, by the way. If you haven't, and if you're on Facebook, please share it to your page. And also, if you're on Instagram, just say hello. All right, so here's what Diddy did. Diddy actually jumped into the fray in the Byron Allen Comcast suit. Byron Allen is suing Comcast for about $20 billion. The case has gotten to the Supreme Court. It's gotten pretty ugly. Comcast is making sort of reverse accusations against Byron Allen, and Byron went on the Breakfast Club, did a brilliant job. Those of you who are in the Black Business School, you know I've been analyzing this case a lot for the students in the school. We broke it down some more last night, and because there's a lot to unpack here. There's a lot of deep dive analysis that can really lead to some really powerful insights. So I wanted to decompose it and chop it into pieces so you can listen to every single word, every syllable, and see exactly what he's trying to do here, so you can understand how to run your own strategies. And basically, Byron was saying to Comcast the obvious, which is you guys don't include black people in what you're doing. You're not, you're spending all these billions of dollars every year on programming and licensing, but you're not, putting that money toward black people. And so I supported it. I think the case is a good case. I think that Byron Allen, he's a businessman. Just make sure you're clear about that, right? He is extrapolating a little bit. He's stretching a little bit. He's basically saying my battle against Comcast is everybody's battle, because Comcast is going to roll the clock back 300 years and turn you all into slaves again. That's not going to happen, right? So if Byron Allen loses, your lives aren't going to change that much. If Byron Allen wins, then you get to go watch, channels like cars.tv or, pets.tv or recipes.tv, or you get 10 more judge shows to choose from. So it ain't like Byron Allen's doing anything revolutionary. The man ain't Malcolm X. He ain't Muhammad Ali, but he's a businessman doing his thing, and I respect it. Him winning does not mean I'm losing or you're losing, so why not support a black man trying to make a point? Now, here's what's interesting, though. Comcast kind of came back with the same sort of argument that you've probably heard before. Give me a yes or no if you've ever seen, a racist person do this. The best way for if they're not racist is to do what? To say, I have a lot of black friends. Look at how many black friends I have. I have tons of friends that are black, right? Yes or no if you've seen this before. If you've had somebody use this, the whole I have black friends argument as a way to avoid an accusation of systematic racism? Yes or no? Have you dealt with that, right? Have you seen that before, right? Or I have a black, some may even have a black wife, and still don't see how they could be racist, right? And a lot of that we know is driven by a lack of understanding of how systematic racism works. For example, if you read books, and I always keep the book nearby, books like Powernomics and books like Black Labor, White Wealth by Dr. Claude Anderson, then he actually breaks down how systematic racism works, and that you don't actually have to be a kind of white person who's going to call a black person the N-word in order to be a supporter of systematic racism. In fact, you don't even have to be white in order to support systematic racism. I know lots of black people who support systematic racism who don't even realize that they're supporting systematic racism. So just be clear. In this room right now, we have a bunch of white supremacists right here in the room. You're not wearing capes and hoods. You probably cannot identify yourselves. But white supremacist systems basically is a systematic infrastructure in which whites get most of the rewards, black people get few rewards and pay most of the cost for those rewards that other people are getting. Right? So when Popeye's Chickens, Popeye's Chickens opens up a location in every single hood across America, that's an artifact of systematic racism in a multitude of dimensions, right? One, they've got access to the capital necessary to put a Popeye's chicken in every single hood in America. Most black folks can't do it. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? How many of you in this room know a single black person anywhere who is a personal friend of yours that you could pick up the phone and call right now, who has access to enough capital to put up, say, even 20 Popeye's chicken locations all throughout the United States? Yes or no? Does anybody know any black person on your phone, in your cell phone right now that you can call, who has the ability to put up 20 Popeye's chicken locations and get the capital in order to do that? No. Right? That, my friends, is an example of systematic racism. The only people that have the ability to do things like that in America they tend to be white people, right? And in Popeye's Chicken's case, it's actually Canadians, but still, you get the point. Other examples of systematic racism, the types of food that's sold in black neighborhoods is very different from the kinds of food sold in white neighborhoods, because the people who have the capital to place the food dispensaries and the restaurants in different neighborhoods, they tend to be white, and those who are trapped in food deserts and forced to eat Popeye's chicken because because there's nothing else nearby for them to go eat. Not that you're ever forced to eat Popeye's chicken, but you don't have any healthy choices. Those people tend to be black, right? The types of food that is advertised and marketed to you as a black person, the type of food, like that Popeye's chicken, which is probably more dangerous to you than smoking like 2 packs of cigarettes a day, maybe 3 or 4 packs a day. I don't know which is worse. We got to do a contest one day, see who dies first, right? The person that smokes 5 packs a day or the person that eats, 2 chicken sandwiches a day. It's probably going to be a tie, right? And it's because they both going to be dead. Neither one of them will live a long life most of the time. And a lot of that marketing is driven to poor neighborhoods, black neighborhoods, and neighborhoods where people don't have as much access to resources, healthy food, or the information necessary that will help them make that distinction, right? So all these are artifacts of systematic racism. The way you also participate in systematic racism is because you choose to deliberately every single day participate in systematically racist systems. For example, when a black person has a child, first thing they do with that baby when they turn 5 is they hand them over to a white school system, even though there's a ton of black schools out here that would love to have your support, right? When you turn on the TV, you're watching white media. When you go out to eat, you may be eating at white restaurants. When you support businesses, chances are that 80-90% of your income goes into the hands of a white person. So white supremacy is it's a two-person tango, right? It takes two to tango in white supremacy. You need the oppressor and you need the oppressed, and it kind of works when both of them kind of understand. So you too, unfortunately, are probably a white supremacist, but I love you anyway because I'm probably part white supremacist too. I've got plenty of coon blood in my body. I probably need to go get some surgery or something, or a blood transfusion, because I need to get the coon out of my system. Anyway, now let's go back. Let's go to Diddy. So hit the thumbs up button. First, please hit that thumbs up button. Let's do our Black Power exercise if you haven't done it. We need this channel to grow, and we need your help to do it. So on the count of 3, if wherever platform you're on right now, please do something that's going to help it grow. If you're on Facebook, please share this video. If you're on Instagram, follow the Black Financial Channel on Instagram. If you're on YouTube, please hit the thumbs up button, subscribe button, and the notification bell so you'll be notified when we go live. So on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Please, please, please. We need your help. We need your support. We cannot grow without you. We are you. We are you. We exist because you exist, right? Without you, there is no us. And I understand that. I would never think I'm the biggest Negro in the building. I only have power because you give it to me, and I would never forget that. So let's move on. So here's Diddy's statement. I'm gonna read Diddy's statement to you. You know me. I can't just jump into something and just read it. I gotta actually kind of give you a context to help you understand and appreciate it a little bit better. That's what I like to believe makes our platform a little bit stronger than most. Here's what he says. So Diddy puts out a press release today on PR Newswire, and it says, "My name and my network, Revolt, have been mentioned recently by Comcast in reference to the Comcast Byron Allen U.S. Supreme Court case as an example of Comcast's inclusive practices with respect to African-American owned cable networks." The whole, we got a lot of black friends argument. The first black friend they mentioned is Diddy. Shout out to Diddy for standing up against this. In fact, I remember being very surprised when Byron Allen was even allowed to go on the Breakfast Club, which I believe is deeply connected to Revolt. I don't know if Revolt owns it. I know Revolt. When I was there, I've been on the Breakfast Club 4 times. And I was supposed to go on there a 5th time this month. It just didn't work out. But Charlemagne, we text all the time. So I'm sure it'll happen at some point. But I remember when I was there, I saw Revolt everywhere. I saw Revolt on the wall. I saw Revolt on the camera. I saw a Revolt camera guy kind of asking me questions. I just saw Revolt. I said, I wonder what the relationship is between, the Breakfast Club and Revolt. So I was really surprised when Byron Allen was even allowed to go on the Breakfast Club to talk about Comcast so badly, because I thought, wait, aren't they like biting the hand that feeds them? Because media is so incestuous. I thought that there was a business relationship that would be ruined if they did this. So anyway, so somebody got hurt. Somebody paid a price for that interview. I can guarantee you that much. Or somebody had to get paid off. I don't know what went down, but it wasn't standard. It wasn't like you can go in media and always speak the truth that way. There's something happening behind the scenes to even allow that interview to even take place. While it is true that we are in business with Comcast, like I said, it is not accurate to use my name or my network as an example of inclusion. I do not want my name to be used inaccurately, so truth. I also want to make clear that this case is now about much more than cable distribution. It's about the civil rights of millions of African Americans and other minorities. I don't like, just for the record, let's try to stop using the word minority, because ain't nothing minor about you. I'm turning this fan off because it's hot up in here. Hold on, guys. Ain't nothing minor about the original man and the original woman. Ain't nothing minor about that. Ain't nothing minor in your melanin. Ain't nothing minor about the power of your melanin. There's nothing minor about the power of your intellect. Nothing minor about the power of your voice. Nothing minor about the power of your spirit. Nothing minor about the power of your achievements. So I know Diddy didn't mean anything by it. I know Diddy was using the language that people understand, and I respect that. There's no issue with him using that language. But I want to encourage you. I'm not even going to tell you what to do. I don't do that. I want to encourage you and hopefully persuade you to at least consider taking the word minority out of your vocabulary, because you are the majority of the earth. Did you know this? Yes or no? Give me a yes or no if you knew this. Did you know that we are the majority on the planet? We are the majority. So how the hell are we a minority? How are you going to go to a city like a Detroit or in Atlanta, where we dominate the population in most parts of the city, and we still calling ourselves minorities? I don't want to be a minority. I'm not a minority. So say it in the chat if you agree. Say I am not a minority. Remember, we got to go through these counter-coon exercises. We got to get the coonery out of our blood. Get that white supremacist out of our blood. And I am not a minority. So I'm gonna say it out loud. I hope that you guys will agree and type it in the chat. I am not a minority. You are not a minority. We are not minorities. We are majorities. Let's keep going. First, it's important that people understand what's at stake. It's in its effort to get the lawsuit filed by Byron Allen dismissed, Comcast has taken a legal approach that could weaken fundamental civil rights protections. I have a problem with this. The Civil Rights Act of 1866, Section 1981, was designed to ensure black people are able, I like the fact that he said black people, he didn't say minorities, good for you, Diddy, are able to do business in this country and not be denied because of race. Comcast is arguing that this law only applies if racial discrimination is the only factor that leads to a refusal to do business, which would be extremely hard to prove. So what they're trying to do, Comcast, is they're trying to really just tighten up the argument. They're trying to make it harder than ever for you to file a racial discrimination lawsuit, which we know which is wrong. It's already hard to do it, but it's going to be even harder now, and that's why the case is such a big deal. By taking this stance in the Supreme Court, Comcast has put its legal tactics ahead of the rights of millions of Americans to be heard. This is not okay. Above anything else, my goal has always been to achieve true economic inclusion for black people. How can Comcast suggest that it champions diversity and inclusion if it attacks the laws that provide the foundation for economic inclusion? What good are any of their efforts if they are fighting to make it harder for victims of discrimination to be heard in court? Comcast has made this about much more than Byron Allen, and now the civil rights of my children and my community are at stake. To be clear, anything that makes it harder to fight against discrimination is wrong. Comcast is choosing to be on the wrong side of history. Now, I'll segue for 1 second and say, Comcast could probably have lightened the load in this lawsuit very early with a little preventive maintenance. You know, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, especially stuff like this. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Comcast is like shooting fish in a barrel because, you know, and I remember noticing this when I was at Syracuse University, because racist institutions are so stupid that they will give you all the data that you need to prove that they are racist. They will have horrible track records when it comes to race. Like if Byron Allen gets into a debate with somebody who says, come on, Byron, you know Comcast ain't racist. Comcast, look at what they did for Diddy, right? Well, Byron Allen can say, you know, he did exactly what I would have done. You know, Byron Allen came out and said, well, if you look at, you know, I can't talk like Byron Allen, but you know I talk. Well, actually, if you look at the $3 billion that Comcast spent on programming, or $11 billion, whatever it was, only $30 million was spent on 100% black-owned networks. Well, that's all you need to know. At that point, there is no debate anymore. There is no argument anymore. So there's no debate as to whether or not you're including minority. Damn it. Told you, man. That damn coon blood's coming out. I said the word minority. See, told you I was part coon. Gotta get that out of my system. There's no debate as to whether or not black people are excluded. That's not even a debate at this point. The only debate is whether or not Comcast is going to continue to live in denial. You see, I actually understand why Comcast might not want, you know, networks like, you know, pets.tv and recipes.tv and, you know, cars.tv or whatever on their network. Like those do not sound like networks I'm ever going to watch. I'm sorry, Byron. Love you, brother. But I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing. You're getting the advertisers lined up and all that. And I know white people love their pets. Like they want to marry, not all of them, but many of them like seem like they want to like marry their dogs and stuff. You ever see people like kissing their dogs on the lips and stuff? I don't know. I'm not dissing. If you're a dog lover, that's cool. That's cool. But would you tongue kiss a dog? If you've ever seen a person tongue kissing a dog, have they ever been black? Yes or no? Have you ever in your life seen a black person ever tongue kiss a dog? Right? It does not happen. Or have you ever seen a black person in your life, you know, put their dog in like a $200 a night motel when they go out of town? Right? I've never seen that. I'm not dissing. Got some pet lovers in here. That's cool. Animals are good. Animals are good, but animals are animals. They're not people, right? They're not people. But somebody didn't get the memo. And it's all good. That's what happens, right? So Byron is getting that white money. God bless him. He's gonna get that money from all the people that love to tongue kiss their dogs and put them in $200 a night doggy motels and buy them little doggy sneakers and roller skates and whatever and dress them up on Halloween. And that's cool. Like that's cool. But that's not a channel that sounds all that interesting, right? But what it's done is from a business standpoint, I'm sure it's brilliant because advertisers, you know, it's very easy for them to self-identify and say, oh, of course I want to, you know, advertise on dogs.tv or pets.tv, whatever it is, because we sell pet food. So sure, right? So anyway, moving on. All right, so here's more of what Diddy had to say. On Revolt, I can only share the truth of my experience. This is interesting. See, I read these statements and I'm always thinking it through, trying to figure out what are they really saying here. I see what you're saying, but what are you really saying? So I was reading through Diddy's statement. I was like, Diddy, what are you saying? Like, what's going to happen here? Like, you're a businessman too. At what point are you going to settle some sort of grievance that you had? Because I know you're pissed. You had to be pissed to write this statement. This ain't just about civil rights and all. No. You mad at somebody and you getting somebody in that ass right now. So I'm trying to figure this out. The last two paragraphs answered that question for me. He says, on Revolt, I can only share the truth of my experience. Starting an independent cable network is incredibly difficult and capital intensive. The start we received from Comcast, which was a condition of the United States government approval for Comcast to acquire NBC Universal, was important. But it is not the level of support needed to build a successful African American owned network. Thus, the financial shakedown begins, right? Now, it's not a shakedown in a bad sense, right? I think Diddy probably deserves more support from Comcast, right? But I knew it had to always go back to the money. That's why I tell you guys it's important that we created things like the Black Business School and the Black Financial Channel, because I want you to understand the money, because 9 times out of 10, even in a so-called democracy, if you really want to understand why almost anybody does anything, all you got to do is follow the money. All you got to do is follow the money. Even the liberals, the conservatives on the right, they're pretty blatant about it. Like, they're kind of like the economic version of a porn star. Like, a porn star is basically a person, it seems to me, I'm not sure. They seem to be kind of like people that do publicly what other people do privately, right? So it's not that what they're doing is so weird and unique. It was maybe some of it, I don't know. But it's not that what they're doing is unique, right? Everybody has to have sex in order for babies to be born. Without sex, there are no people. So everybody has to do it at some point. Or I hope you do. If you don't, you need to go see your therapist. But the difference is that you have the people that do it privately and those who do it publicly. Well, when I look at the money, I see it the same way. The Republican Party, to me, the right wingers are, I call them economic porn stars because they're very public and very clear about the fact that money matters over everything. Money over everything. MOE for the Republican Party almost every day of the week. They love their corporations. They love their billionaires. They love their wealthy people. That's very important. They love the rich, all this. The liberals are fascinating because they too love money. They too need money. They too are driven by the billionaires. They too are driven by the corporations. They just keep it quiet. So they look at the porn star, so nasty. I can't believe that she did that, right? But then when you go back and you really look under the surface, you find out that they're kind of doing the same stuff. They just do it in a different way. For example, many of the people that run around saying all rich people are evil, many of the liberals who say all rich people are evil, are millionaires themselves. So that's kind of weird, right? Like, you're talking about poor people and you represent poor people and you hate rich people, but you're a rich person. So do you hate yourself? Is that what's going on? And in fact, they were so funny because the Republicans like to out the hypocrisy of some of the liberals, so they'll point out, and the liberals can do that to the conservatives too, right? They're all kind of silly, but what they'll do is they'll go to a guy like a Bernie Sanders and they'll say, okay, you're saying all rich people are bad. Well, we looked at your tax return and saw you made $1 million last year and gave only $10,000 to charity. You gave less than 1% of your income to charity. So you're as rich and as greedy as the rest of us. In fact, you're richer than most of the Republicans that you constantly attack all the time, right? Or if you look at the fact that money tends to move politics, no matter which side of the aisle you're on. Or another really interesting example was when they went to a neighborhood where they were extremely liberal. They went to this neighborhood that was supposed to be a liberal community, right? And what they did was they went there and they said, okay, you all want more housing for poor people, and you all want more immigrants, illegal immigrants that come from other countries. You want us to allow them into the community and not give them any problems. So what we want to do is we want to build a poor community right next to your neighborhood, right? So they said, since you love poor people, would you be okay if we built a poor community, a low-income housing, community right next to your neighborhood? And you know what they did? They said, "Oh, hell no! We don't want poor people living next to us. That's not what we want." Right? So the hypocrisy is quite interesting. But my point I'm making here is that 9 times out of 10, if you want to understand the world, all you got to do is follow the money. Even people that pretend like money is not a motive, money is almost always the motive, and not in a lot of what you see in the public eye. So with Diddy, it doesn't mean he doesn't believe in this cause, though. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is that, Diddy ain't a billionaire for nothing. He didn't become a billionaire by not thinking about money. And you're not going to become wealthy if you never think about money. You're going to have to consider money in the decisions that you make. So the last point I'm going to see here, or last point I'm going to read here that he wrote, is he said, supporting diversity and economic inclusion requires a real partnership. The only way Black-owned networks grow and thrive is with meaningful and consistent economic support. Boom, more money. Put more money in our pockets, and then maybe we won't tell people that you're not putting money in our pockets. Otherwise, they are all set up to fail. Revolt has never been in a position to truly compete on a fair playing field because it has not received the economic and distribution support necessary for real economic inclusion. Our relationship with Comcast is the illusion of economic inclusion. Rather than using the case to diminish civil rights protections of millions of Americans, Comcast should use this as an opportunity to listen to a community it relies on and, above all, do better. So boom, there you go. That's what's really going on with this case. I think that Diddy's statement was amazing, brilliant, extraordinary, and cool. I think Diddy deserves a big round of applause, a digital round of applause for what he did, for jumping in and supporting Byron Allen. I'm sure the Comcast execs are paying attention because, racist entities don't enjoy it when you call them on their BS. When you call them on what they're doing, they get very uncomfortable, and I think this is exactly what these black men are doing, and I just love it. I think it's great. Now, I see here Underground View says YouTube froze. Yeah, sometimes it happens, so I just keep going on whatever platform I'm on. But if you haven't subscribed to theblackfinancialchannel.com, make sure you subscribe to theblackfinancialchannel.com. If you're on Facebook, please share this to your page. Follow the Black Financial Channel on Instagram. We are on Instagram, the Black Financial Channel. Also, last but not least, if you are planning on coming to see us in our next event in New Orleans, we just sold out, so we have no more spaces for New Orleans. So don't come to New Orleans, and we're going to put sold out on the website and everything. But just make sure you know, don't come to that event. We're going to have some other events later on. But thank you to those who decided to come to New Orleans, because it's very cool that we can go places and people want to support what we're doing and be a part of it. And don't do it for us. Do it for yourselves. And always remember that everything that we do for you, we do it for you, but we want you to do it for yourselves. Okay, so don't join anything that we offer to you unless you feel that it's working for you. And if it's not working for you, let us know, and we will give you a 100% money back guarantee on that. Okay, so feel free to also go to theblackbusinessschool.com, that's theblackbusinessschool.com. Talk to one of our specialists. They can help you put together your wealth plan, help you figure out a plan to get better. At the very least, I would love it if the vast majority of all the people that follow me invest in the stock market. I swear to God, I swear on my grandmama, and I don't swear on my grandmama. I shouldn't even do this. I'm probably going to get beat up for this. But I swear on my grandmama that it doesn't take that long. It's not that hard to do, and it's going to make a huge difference if you're consistent. So please start investing. Download one of the basic apps and just start having a few dollars come out of your checking account every week so that you can grow your portfolio over time. Do this for yourself. Do this for your children. Do this for your grandkids. Don't do it for me. Do it for yourself, okay? And if you actually want to learn more and really want to learn how the stock market works, that is my expertise. If you want to join my class, it's theblackstockmarketprogram.com, that's theblackstockmarketprogram.com. So I'm out of here, guys. I got a meeting to go to. It was real. Once again, way to go, Diddy. Mad respect to you, brother. And good luck to Byron Allen in his lawsuit. I'll see you guys real soon. Take care. Peace.